Let's begin.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 36 of the Force Choke podcast. We are here to bring you a nerdy, geeky kind of show.
Well, time out. Hold on. Is it 35 or 36?
I thought it was 36.
We're 36.
Okay.
See, I knew it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have fallen into my trap.
Before we introduce the council, I'd like everyone to say hello to our very special guest, Ray Kennicks.
Hello. Thanks for
Ray.
joining us.
Ray, we thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to hang out and chat with us for the next 2 hours. We're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the topics for today. Now let's introduce the council. First up is...
Hello, I'm Micah.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Izzy.
And I'm Tim.
My name is Lewis.
And a friendly
We are the
reminder,
Force
if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and you'll get notified every time we upload a new podcast.
Oh, and turn on the bell.
The bell.
The bell.
The bell?
Yes.
Ding,
bell.
ding. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
For whom the
Oh,
bell tolls.
yeah, and if you like behind-the-scenes kind of stuff, we got that for you, too.
Yes.
Just head over to our Instagram, The Force Choke, all together, smushed up, no capitals. About 30 minutes before each and every show. Our behind the scenes are live, and you'll get to see us fight with technology, go over scripting with our guests, set up for the show.
Or like we just did, talk about movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was war.
So when does that happen, do you ask? Around 11:30 a.m. Central on our podcast days. Not today. We did it a little bit later.
Yeah.
But follow us on Instagram, and you'll get notified for that, too.
Absolutely.
But Levi said something you don't want to miss. The Force Choke is on them social medias, people. You guys want content? We's got the content. Including pics, GIFs, videos, artwork, podcasts, and all kinds of other stuff. Find all that good stuff on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Vero, Twitter, and I think Izzy's over there still supporting our MySpace.
What's my face? My face. So supporting my face.
Oh my god.
That. Alright, everyone, whether you're a fanatic of the galaxy far, far away, or you're a passive Star Wars fan, we're here to bring you a great podcast today. Ray, once again, thank you for joining us. We have an entire segment dedicated to you later on in the show. But for now, Ray, we want to get your thoughts and opinions on all the topics for the show today. Team, let's get this podcast rolling with Tim. If you don't know, Tim travels far and wide to bring us the most up-to-date Star Wars news. By that I mean he's rolling down the meadowy fields of Naboo with senators, eavesdropping on Sam Field whispers on Tatooine, and interrogating the rebel scum on Alderaan. And hitting every news source everywhere in between. Tim, can you access the holo recorder? And we'll share the news from your travels.
Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate and talk about what Rian Johnson's doing and how he's still working on his Star Wars movies. So because Rian Johnson has been the target of controversy from fans who weren't thrilled with The Last Jedi since the release of the film, and there aren't constant announcements about his series of Star Wars spin-offs since development on them has only just begun. Every now and again, speculation poses as a rumor comes along saying that they're going to be canceled. But Rian Johnson has indirectly debunked those concerns via Twitter today when a fan asked if his movies, this was last week? August 30th, yeah, I'm sorry. When a fan asked if his movies are still being worked on, to which he said yes. So in the last podcast we talked about, we said it was over, it's done, and then this came out. And we're back. He's back on the bandwagon again. So amusingly enough, this tweet came hours before another rumor about Lucasfilm getting a cold feet about Johnson surfaced. But the thing is that Johnson has been in a pretty safe position at Lucasfilm for quite a while. Disney CEO Bob Iger was a fan of The Last Jedi. He greenlit his planned trilogy of movies, and the studio saw no need to heavily overhaul this movie during the long period of post-production that the film had. Aside from the affirmation, anger of a particular group of fans who ultimately make up a small portion of the Star Wars franchise's global audience. There's not a whole lot to actually substantiate the idea that Johnson is on his way out. So Rian Johnson lives.
Rian Johnson lives. So, Ray, what do you think about that? I mean, later on we're going to get you to rate the movies for us, but how do you feel about Rian Johnson continuing his work on a new Star Wars trilogy?
Well, I'd be interested to see what himself for his own versus continuing somebody else's job. It's obvious that he likes the way he likes to do it, and I think it's better to will create characters and those are being dependent on previous movie of his.
Can y'all hear her? One second, Ray. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm having problems hearing. I just want to make sure it's good. Can y'all hear her correctly?
This is a lag.
Yeah, it's just a little lag. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just me.
And you guys are playing.
What was that?
You were lagging too.
Oh, we're lagging too.
Oh,
she's saying.
Okay.
Yeah. But from what I'm hearing is that you're interested in the new characters that he may be building.
Yeah, I said it down. It'd be interesting to see what he comes up with on his own, having to rely on previous work or previous film or previous characters.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, with the movie that he just recently put out, I mean, he had a lot of great ideas. So I know myself, I'm interested in what he's going to build on with, like you were saying, all new characters, new vehicles, a new storyline. Where can he take a new Star Wars almost franchise? In the future for all his fans. But I mean,
yeah, I think for him, he just needs to really study all the Star Wars world before this was built beforehand, because there were certain philosophy and certain rules that apply to it. And if he really wants to create something that belongs in that universe of this film, he needs to, I think he needs some fresh up with it.
yeah, something fresh would be nice. I mean, not that the universe that we're in now is not fresh, but I mean, it's now what the Star Wars franchise is how old? Like over 40 years, right? And so maybe a new look at new characters and a different part of the universe and what's going on there would be great. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, as long as it's fair to the universe, as long as it abides by the same laws. It's tricky to do it in a new way, but still maintaining a whole world. So it's a
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, now that they're saying Rian Johnson he's making his movies, and it's almost like, okay, get ready. You know what I mean? Whether he's writing them already or producing them or whatever. I mean, what do you think, Micah? You got a big smile on your face right there.
I think something new for him, especially after episode 8, would probably be best, because he's not gonna have it. How do I say this? He won't have as much expectations as far as previous characters are concerned. So if he brings in something new, something fresh, new characters, as Ray mentioned, it would be. I don't think he would suffer from the same criticisms that he did for episode 8. Yeah. So he can have he can be a little bit more lax and try to develop something richer without having people looking over his shoulder the whole time.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has a good chance. I think it'll be interesting to see what he does, especially away from that whole thing of like in episode 8 where our expectations were built so high and he ripped it off into a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, because that brings up a point that Tim and I were talking about, the whole when Luke threw the lightsaber over his shoulder. We none of us, I don't think, were expecting that. And so if he has his own characters to build on, maybe that's something that we don't have, like you said,
Yeah, I think
expectations.
it would be more acceptable to the audience for to have his own character built up, and instead of having this fixed world that he was trying to make his own.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. How about you, sir?
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Y'all ready for that?
Be less annoyed. Less.
Less annoyed?
Just because he has the creative freedom to just start over.
So
Was it his idea for Porks?
I don't know.
would that change your mind about how you feel about him, Tim, if he was responsible for
No,
it?
I don't care. That just tells me he's.
I think he
He's,
was responsible for it though, because they have a population. I can't think of the damn name, but a type of penguin that visits them.
They're puffins.
Puffins. There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
And they have a population of puffin penguins that periodically visits the island, and I think he took from that.
Mm.
So that would make sense if that was him. Which was okay. If Chewie was more open about eating them.
Oh, God.
That's what.
That's just wrong. All right, what else you got, Tim?
Let's see.
Words.
To jump into this picture.
Paper.
Okay. Yeah. So more news, more casting news. We talked about Billy D. Williams, Kerry Russell, and Richard E. Grant being added to the cast of Episode 9. Now we have Dominic Monaghan of Lost fame officially joining the cast. While details of his role are currently unclear, the fact that this is being announced relatively early in production suggests that it will be somewhat sizable.
So this is for episode 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, the guy from Lost?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the rock star with an addiction? From like season 1
Oh,
and
he
2?
has the short blonde hair?
The blondie.
I think so, yeah.
He wasn't Mary in Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
Yes.
he was
Oh,
married
yeah.
in Lord of the Rings.
He finally wants to get with a
cool.
winning trilogy.
So you said so far they've added Billy D. Williams,
Yes.
they added Kerry Russell, and now they added what's his name?
Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant.
Thrawn. Sorry.
And,
Well, did we talk about it last time?
Yes.
Grant came out and said that he is not playing Thrawn.
I didn't hear that.
He said
Spill the
that.
tea, sis.
Hey, Obi-Wan.
he
Wow.
basically killed all the rumors saying I'm not Thrawn, but he is gonna play a large role, I think, in the Star Wars, but he's not gonna say what it is or who it is.
He's not going to say what it is or who it is, except for he's going to come out and blatantly say, no, it's not this individual character. Do you see where I'm going with that?
So he is going to be that character.
So
I'm not saying he's going to be him, but I'm just saying, like, what else would he say? Oh, you got me. I'm going to be Thrawn. Spoiler alert.
No,
Here
just
I am.
no comment. Just don't leave it. Leave everybody in suspense.
Bill Belichick.
it's unreal.
The hoodie comes out.
Well,
And so what else you got there, Tim? So those are 4 major players, actors, actresses. And,
Which one? Actor, actresses.
actresses. Billy D. Kerry Russell, Richard Grant,
yeah, Richard Grant.
and who else did you say?
Monaghan.
And Monaghan.
Dominic, yeah. So when Monaghan was asked about the casting, he said, "The galaxy far, far away has almost as much influence as the one I live in, so I am delighted to be involved." Monaghan is well known for portraying the Hobbit, known as Meriadoc Brandybuck, also known as Merry, in Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
So also worth mentioning is that years ago, Monaghan was rumored for the role in The Force Awakens as a Jedi. If those rumors are true, when the film was in the planning stages, perhaps it's not just Rey that's the last Jedi.
So could he possibly play a Jedi? You think? Maybe?
I can see him playing a Jedi.
Yeah.
But we're getting
Until he comes out.
He can go both ways. He does look like he's First Order also.
Yeah, I could see him in like a suit, an officer suit or something like that. Maybe he's second in command to General Hux, and General Hux
Wait a minute here. What if some of these actresses are Knights of Ren.
Really?
If you have an influential character, I mean, well, an actor, say, and what's his name, Monahan. Like, what if he just? It seems like some of these would be really prominent. I mean, I know we're gonna get to see a lot of other things, but it seems like they've already talked a lot about the First Order, at least kind of shown what they have. It would be like the equivalent of what the Resistance is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really tied to anything. They're kind of doing their own separate things in a separate portion of the galaxy or whatever. So what if some of these characters are coming in as a shocker, as like Knights of Ren, because that was J.J. Abrams' creation, and obviously wasn't brought in Episode 8 to be killed
later
off.
on to add to that.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me that.
That's
That's what you get for being
Well-
stingy and only doing one of these copies.
Sorry about that.
I see him more as a protagonist. I don't. I just see him more as a.
He's been.
Oops.
Well, I haven't never seen Lost, but he's been. I know. He's been like a good guy or like the quirky guy in all of the roles that I've seen him in. He was in Origins Wolverine. He was the magician guy or something.
Oh,
The light
yeah.
bulbs.
He could turn
He lived in a
that's
trailer
right.
and he had light
Yeah,
bulbs.
That's right.
He was kind of quirky in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seems more like a Resistance thing, but
Ray, how do you feel about the addition of him to the Star Wars universe? And how do you see him as maybe a bad guy, a good guy? What do you think?
No, I think, you know what, he always plays some crazy, whether he's good or bad. He never plays 100% risk of or what. So he always has like, and he's always quirky, and he's always on the board. That's all I've seen him in the TV series, and he played this dark. So I think that's what he's gonna do with it, right? He's probably like something like quiz over one or the other way, and when he's coming because of white or black, like setting for those just never know what's happening, so they try or find that. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's like, but it's really cool. I love him. He's great.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we only see him on screen and stuff, but seems like really.
He's gonna be a young Snoke.
Did you just say that, Tim?
I just
He's gonna play a young.
Kicked him
I'm
out.
just throwing something out there, just like going crazy on it.
I'm grateful for something.
You heard it here first on the First Choke podcast.
Write it down. And Carrie Russell, you were talking about Knights of Ren, going back to Knights of Ren. Carrie
Sure, you want
Russell
to?
possibly being one of those knights, only because the recent roles she's been doing is a lot of action. She's fighting using her physical skills.
oh yeah, she's definitely a physical actress.
So, yeah.
Well, she's done a lot of those roles, right? Like,
That's what he just said.
yeah. No. I mean, not even just recently, but
I'm kidding.
even in her younger
Yeah.
years.
Well, Mission Impossible 3, right?
Yeah.
And then The Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I love that
Yeah.
show. Anyway,
Yeah. So,
you ever watch The
Well, I was
Americans?
thinking like the '90s. She wasn't so much like that, was she?
Well, even
Well, she was-
I'm trying to give things that are more so recent, that she was still very physical and what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's scenes in The Americans where. Go ahead.
One actor that if they want the actor for whatever role it is, they'll climb mountains, jump up, so it's whatever. It is perfect.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you catch it?
Can you hear that?
And
Yeah.
so, well,
Yeah. Can you repeat that for us?
Yes, so that when the actor so said, if the studio wants to use do whatever the role wants.
Yeah.
So your actor has zero big butt, feels online.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I wouldn't wait. Well, she's gonna fight, so she's gonna skip that character. I'll take down, they
and with actors and actresses is what I'm getting is that, you're given a role and you accept it, and you follow through with whatever is required for you to do. You know, if you're there, then you're gonna, and they ask you to, hey, you know, you're this badass, then you're gonna put that on the screen. You're gonna do that for your director as thoroughly as possible. So I can see her doing that. You know, Kara Russell. I mean, it just seems like she really delves into her character. You know, whichever one she takes. So yeah, very good comments there. We appreciate that. Tim, what else you got?
Okay, so I think it was moving over to from Monahan to another actor that's taking part in the movie. The casting announcement of Matt Smith joining the cast.
Who?
I love Matt Smith.
Who?
Who?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got it.
Some Variety reports that Smith has been cast in a key role, as with Monahan's role. Details on episode 9 characters' affiliation and personality are being kept under wraps. Given his English heritage, however, it's not too hard to typecast him as someone allied with the First Order. Fans of Doctor Who are likely shouting Geronimo with the hire of the actors.
You're freaking out, Izzy.
I am.
Dude, don't panic.
Izzy, breathe. Don't panic.
I'm getting all sweaty.
Yeah. He's gonna bring some new fans over to Star Wars.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
For sure.
Well, what do y'all think
For
about
sure.
that edition? Talk to us, Izzy.
I'm so excited.
Yeah?
He's one of my favorite. Well, my favorite was 10, but he's cool too.
Well, you know, I've really only watched when I was younger the Doctor Who episodes, and
So,
those were like on the old BBC,
Okay.
kind of grainy.
So before 9.
Okay,
That'd be before
so
9.
well, what excites you about that character? Talk to us
Seven
about that.
His English accent.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that what it is?
He's fun.
It's always the accent, dude.
He's
swear.
very quirky too.
His personality.
Yeah. Do you guys watch the show? No.
Do you think?
No.
You haven't watched it yet?
I've always meant to. I just kind of never did.
Ray, do you watch Doctor Who or?
I'm not the age with from Brian and I love it. Met with
Yeah. I don't. Never mind. I was gonna say something.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing. Never mind.
No?
Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really good that they casted that guy. So with mid production announcements and casting, should we begin to suspect that we might be seeing Lucasfilm finally fill out what the Knights of Ren are like underneath the masks? The Knights of Ren story has not yet been resolved, and J.J. Abrams also explicitly noted that he wanted to see the characters in episode 9. With Abrams now directing, he can bring them in himself. Could one of these fine actors or actresses be playing the lead Knight of Ren, and that others will find out the Knights? Star Wars Episode 9 will be releasing on December 20th, 2019.
Well, we already know who the lead knight is.
The
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
He's the master of the Knights of Ren.
Do you think he's shed that?
No.
No.
Ren, Knights of Ren.
Maybe he left them
Yeah.
behind somewhere,
And now they want him back.
or they want to have revenge.
No, I think it's like they're like the special forces of it
He
or
said-
something. They're in the outer.
You
They're in the
remember
outer rim,
that-
not
okay,
the inner
okay.
rim, Tim.
You remember that?
And they're
scene-
doing stuff.
You remember that scene where Maz is like in this middle of a fight, or I don't know what's happening, and then she flies off, storms off.
Yeah.
What if
They
that's
could be
where they were
collecting.
at? They were.
Yeah.
She was dealing with that mess.
Yeah, they could be collecting stuff.
They
or something.
both collect stuff. Maz is a collector, and Knights of Ren is.
Well,
they're
I know
collectors
that's
as
what I
well.
mean. That's why they're being.
It could have been just a fight over a relic of some kind.
Well, we know Kylo Ren's super into relics and collections and stuff.
Let's ask everybody: do y'all want to see the Knights of Ren back on the screen?
Thought we were gonna do like a thumb.
You want to do a thumbs
We can
up,
do a
thumbs
thumbs
up?
up.
was already
If they
done.
come back to the
Okay.
big screen,
If there's a
So-
person who does
Yeah.
a thumb down, I'm not your friend anymore.
of course they
So-
come
Oh.
back.
Yeah.
They have
Okay.
to come
Goodbye.
back.
So,
Absolutely.
so the question we're gonna pose. How do you want to pose it then, Tim? Do you want to see them back, or are they coming back?
Well, it would be more of do we want them? Like, yeah,
Okay.
with personal preference. Do you want to see them again? And
Okay. So
I think it's
just so to fill in Ray, we do this thing where we all put our fists in the middle,
That
and
sounds
we do
weird.
either a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and the question is going to be.
Fist me, bro.
Do you want to see the Knights of Ren in episode 9? So we'll do a countdown on 1, 2, 3.
I'm all for it. Hey.
Hey! So it's unanimous. Everybody wants to see the Knights of Ren. You know, I mean, it's. I guess we just want to see their story. What? It seems though they seem very interesting, almost like Boba Fett in a way. It's like, man, I want to know
Boba Fett?
more. What?
Boba Fett?
Want to know more about these
Yeah.
characters? Where did they come from? And more about them. You know, let's see them fight.
Then they all die in a Sarlacc pit.
They're gonna come one by one.
Tim's being kicked off the show officially.
No,
You heard it here
how
first.
dare you, Tim?
We're gonna have a picture to say Tim made it episode 1 through 36, and then
And then gone.
he had an accident.
That would be really interesting if they did bring them back, and I don't know how they would be used. Like you said, maybe like a special forces for Kylo Ren. But is he? I still want to know if he's going to put that mask back on or not.
Kylo?
Mm-hmm.
You broke it.
He did, right?
That's right.
But I wonder if he has
Like Batman.
Yeah, like Batman. Like how Batman has like suits and suits. Maybe he has this helmet is for weddings. This helmet is for Friday afternoon. This one is for dates.
After a temper tantrum, here's another one.
So I don't know, because I don't know if he's gonna put it back on. I really don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I wouldn't think so, but I thought I remember hearing a rumor a while back that the scene where it shows, like, it looks like Rey's about to get, like, in the rain,
Mm-hmm. In the flashback
where
scene,
it's just like a field of like people that just got slaughtered or whatever.
you're talking
and
about the Force Awakens.
Yes, talking
Yeah.
about episode 7, the Force Vision that had.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe that was a scene that has yet to come. So it's like he would have to put the mask back on, or would it just be a visual representation? I don't know.
Yeah, you make a valid point there.
Because
too.
I would really want to know what the hell happened there. Because you just see they're all slaughtered.
Yeah.
And he was like obviously already as a member of the Knights of Ren. When he took off from Luke, he wasn't. He was just pissed off cat, just taking a few friends and leaving.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or what if?
You want to join the crew and kill some people? Come join me.
What were you gonna say?
Never mind, it's silly.
No.
Well, because like Snoke was all take that silly thing off, and now that he thinks Snoke's dead, he's like, I'm gonna put this thing on top
Put
of
it
my
back
neck
on.
ever again.
Get out of here, Snoke.
Yeah. But then I was like, oh my God.
So do you think that Ren this whole time, Ben Solo, because when Snoke is talking to Rey, he's saying, and Ben's gonna Kylo will turn his lightsaber on and strike down his true enemy, and Ren killed Snoke. I wonder if this whole time Snoke knew that, or if Ren knew that Snoke was actually his true enemy. Now that you say that. I don't know. This is a thought I just had right now. Maybe he was just waiting to learn more from Snoke until he's like, you know what? I'm powerful enough. Let's get rid of this guy. Unless it was the appearance of our guest withstanding Rey from the movie. Now that she came about, Ren was like, I have somebody else I can teach or learn from. I guess number 9, hopefully will.
Well, Rey has all the books, right? She's all the stuff she needs there.
Yeah, the Jedi text. So, yeah, I don't know.
Rey is gonna put on the helmet in the end.
Oh, what?
I don't know. I'm just curious how much of a time jump there's going to be.
I don't know.
Well, it's going to
ask
have to
our
be
guest.
significant.
Ray, what do you think? You know, we've discussed this a little bit in our previous podcasts, and one of the questions was, you know, from Episode 7, The Force Awakens, to The Last Jedi, it almost happened instantaneously, you know, from one movie to the next. And we're wondering, from The Last Jedi to Episode 9, should they have some kind of time gap? You know, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years.
10.
What are your thoughts on that? Should there be, or should it just be another continuous
3 years.
fluid?
And Finn is married to Rose.
About Florence camp, they take the product this fall. They're like, ooh.
Say that one more time.
I said, I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about how around we take this passport and
So she's talking about Kylo Ren when he took his helmet off.
Yeah.
The tango, I think that not the public 3 persons of content not back away after The Last Jedi ended. I feel they would get some different location. Right?
So I think I caught that you said about 3 years.
No, I said definitely not 3 years. Probably 3 weeks or 3 months.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so about several months. Then you're saying,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think a lot of it would be most logically to do different and start little changes will be happen. Your goals will be online running like that, but not so.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
We lost video on the Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, that looks weird.
That's cool looking. I like that. I'll leave that.
I've never seen it like that before.
Me either.
Strange.
Is that how
Yes.
it's coming out?
It is.
Okay, let me see. Y'all keep going. What else you got?
What's next? What? Okay. Okay. A source that may or may not be close to the Force Choke podcast has disclosed that documents exist confirming a variety of information on a future Star Wars standalone project being developed under the corporate name of PLT Productions UK. The project is sufficiently along. An art department is now in full pre-production mode in Pinewood Studios, England, with work being carried out at Industrial Light and Magic in London. A number of concept artists, prop modelers, and storyboard artists are working as a team across the 2 locations on the film, with the group growing in numbers every month. So this project is, what kind of project is this? Okay, I guess I'll get into that. So contracts have also been extended to a number of crew who have worked on various Star Wars films produced at Pinewood under the Disney era to join the production when their work on Episode 9 ends. This will see the crew grow gradually over the remainder of the year, but primarily from October onwards. Pre-production will continue at Pinewood while Episode 9 shoots from this summer through the end of the year, at which point production of the standalone movie has been scheduled to move on to stages in mid-January 2019, with the main shoot to begin in April of 2019. Once again, the standalone project is being developed under the corporate name of PLC Productions UK. The scheduled release date is December 2020. A standalone Obi-Wan Kenobi movie has not been announced or confirmed by Disney or Lucasfilm, and the aforementioned production is strictly a rumor at this time. The documents from our sources do not reveal any information in regards to potential castings, but hopefully more information about the rumored production will come to light through a formal announcement from Lucasfilm in the future.
So they're working on stuff
So
in the UK
yeah,
for a standalone film.
without giving us any information on what's going on here. We got no casting information,
Well, I feel
no
like
story information.
I feel like
no-
sometimes they could use it as a disguise too. Oh, hey, we're gonna do this project for blah blah blah, but some of those characters may be like relevant to episode 9, maybe. I mean, it just seems convenient that they're both running at the same time out of Pinewood Studios, even if one's described to be scheduled a year later.
I don't know what.
I'm just saying, like, say if you see
Yeah,
Ewan McGregor on scene, like, oh my god, is he gonna be in episode 9? Like, no, we have a standalone movie coming out, of course. When in reality, that could be just a front.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like how they were shooting. I think it was the latest James Bond movie, right around the time they were doing episode 7. So that's why, like, you had some of the, like, James Bond himself, Daniel Craig was actually a stormtrooper in the interrogation scene for episode 7.
You're right.
I think they
That's
just
right.
used some of those things as a front, but who knows?
That's true. And it looks like you said it's scheduled to come out December
2020.
2020, with episode 9 coming out
December
A year
2019.
earlier.
next year, right?
Next year.
Next
And
year.
then this production
Will be nearly a year
after, which would follow suit with them wanting to put out a Star Wars movie
Every year.
every year.
I thought they were gonna slow things down too.
I think part of that just has to do with maybe they're not giving any information, so people don't have an opportunity to bitch about it. You're doing that movie? Are you kidding me? You know,
I don't
like
like that movie.
that toxic fandom that we've been talking about.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask our guest Ray a question real quick. A Star Wars movie every year, is that too much Star Wars?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is too much. Because I don't like it being commercialized. It's something that they can become so mass, becomes commercial. So of course it's you can't expect good quality product set especially when it's stuff for the brokers. So I think it's a new set of I think it loses its value.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Micah? Do you think it's too much?
If it's not done right, it could be too much.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just like, I think kind of what Ray was trying to touch on, like if it's like a half-assed movie, then it's like, why do it?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there might be just so much attention regarding it. If it's not going to be a really, really good story, then don't put it out.
Yeah.
Because it is tarnishing everything else that has the Star Wars stamp on.
Yeah. And to kind of, I don't know if it was you or if it was Izzy that said, there's this sense of anticipation also of waiting for a Star Wars movie, almost like an event. Was it you that said that?
No.
Maybe it was Micah.
Maybe.
Was it you that said that, Micah?
I don't know if I want to take that credit.
No.
I mean, it sounds like something I would
No,
say,
no.
but well, I mean, because you got something. You know, I'll tell you what. I'll make the argument that I did. Not that I said it, but based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but yeah. So you think every year it's like, okay, you have Halloween every year, you have Christmas every year, you have this particular music festival or this film festival every year. It's almost now like that's kind of how it should have been for. Like how Marvel does their movies more or less in May, because that's where they're going to get all their money, all their blockbuster summer hits or whatever. And that's what Star Wars is wanting to do. If they did that, especially if they keep it in December, that wasn't their initial intention, but it seems like it's been faring well for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did it, it's kind of like, okay, you got Halloween in October, you got Thanksgiving in November, you got Christmas and Star Wars in December.
It's an ultimate Christmas present.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
would,
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, do y'all want to keep it in December?
I like it in December.
Maybe for a bit.
Just
Maybe
for
for a
the-
little bit.
What'd
but
you call
then
it?
What? Oh my god. But then I think it would get like routine. And I think it should be like a special event, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Star Wars is coming out. Oh my god.
So like every
Versus
3
like,
years?
hey, we'll go see Star Wars and then we're gonna go get Christmas at grandma's and then, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna become routine.
I like it.
It always seems
You
like it
like
has
it?
been built into it.
So-
originally.
So you feel like a Star Wars movie every year is good. That you're good with that.
Because, like, if you're having a really trashy year, you know, and it's like at the end of the
Star
year.
Wars is gonna come in and save
So
it.
it's like, I have something to look forward
Potentially.
to at the end of the year to make me feel a little better. And then it's like the new year, and you're like, great, I have to wait all over again. Like, damn it.
Oh my goodness. What do you think, Tim?
I'm just thinking they should spread that out some more.
Or
Not
change it
every-
up. Change it up.
Yeah. I mean, the Han Solo movie coming out in summer was not a problem. Like, that's fine.
It wasn't a problem, but if you look at the business stance, it was. It didn't make the money.
Well, because of the
If
movie
you-
before,
if you look
because
at-
of Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. You know, if that Last Jedi never happened and we only had Force Awakens, then we got Han Solo, I think we would have
What about Rogue One?
way better
They made money with
turnout
Rogue One coming out in
than
December.
what they had with Last Jedi.
I'm just talking about from a business standpoint, which is what they're really going to be looking at. They're making all their money in December because who's really rivaling them in that month? Now, if you have a subpar Star Wars movie coming out in the summer, it's going to get chewed up by anything else that's coming out that's already been deemed. You know, it could be part of Disney for the Marvel movies, or it could be a completely independent movie they've been working on for a couple of years, and it's going to be known as Star Wars a summer blockbuster. If a Star Wars movie does shit, if it doesn't do so good, if it's not that great of a movie, it's going to get eaten up and not make its money during the summer. In December is a completely different conversation. You have movies that come out during Christmas, sure, but not anything like what you would see during the summer. And I don't think there's been any problem with the amount of money that they've made
I'm not
with
saying
Episode
stop.
7 because
I'm not
it's already
saying-
broken up all those
I'm not
records and
saying
stuff.
stop doing December. I'm just saying that they need to spread it out more.
Okay, yeah.
And because movies need to like settle down before you realize, hey, this is actually a pretty good movie. It took me like 10 years to realize the prequels are actually pretty good.
10 years.
Someone
Maybe it's an age difference.
Someone
I
let
don't
him
know.
sleep. I don't know.
But anyway,
Age difference? There's only like 3 years between us.
listen. I think for some people it needs to settle. It like
They're not
give them
giving
a year or so before you start throwing out another Star Wars movie, like a trailer, big trailer for another film. And the Last Jedi, as bad as the reviews were from the people,
Reviews weren't bad before it came out.
no, I mean like after it came out, from the people, like it's the number one selling Blu-ray DVD of the year this year.
I'm just
And
gonna
if
say,
it just
I
came
think
out. It's already number.
the society we live in today, instant gratification is what you want. So I don't think they want too much time, especially if you have one title every year. Look at Marvel last year had 3 or 4 Marvel movies that came out, and they were so wildly successful. I think it's just a matter of them producing more content in a correct manner. That I don't think once a year is really gonna be that bad.
We're just transitioning also as a generation, I think.
But that's what I'm saying. The generation that you're looking at now is instant gratification. I want it now. You're talking about this. Why are you telling me about something that's going to come out in a year and a half? Why are you telling me something that's going to come out in 7 months? You tell me about it, I'm assuming it's coming out soon. So having said that, if you have a precedent, like every December, here comes a Star Wars movie, that's going to be better for the generation now as far as them making money.
I'm gonna leave it there.
You're gonna leave it there?
Yeah, because we're gonna keep arguing, and
And you're going to
I
be
know how
wrong.
this is gonna
No.
go.
And we want to keep moving forward with the
yeah.
news because we have a lot of
Yeah.
questions for our guest Ray here.
I think that's
That was it. Yeah.
just Sarah's.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
That was all.
Yeah. All.
That's
this,
all you got.
Yeah, you
That's
still
all
got
he's got.
Oh.
I have some. I
You
got
have
some
something.
stuff. Yeah.
What do you got? Sarah?
Sarah's the closer.
Well, I'm
Sorry,
going to
but
thank Tim for keeping us up to speed on the news. And all of us here at the Force Choke Podcast are huge Star Wars fans. And by the input from our guest, Ray, she is as well. Ray, we are honored that you could join us today. We hope you've been having fun. We here at the Force Choke Podcast have space cruiser full of questions for you. Questions may range from your mind-blowing cosplays to your Star Wars fandom, possibly a teeny tiny Star Wars pop quiz. And since we heard you have a fabulous voice, may we ask you to sing, hum, whistle, yodel the Star Wars theme, maybe?
The Star Wars theme. I'll sing that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So we're dedicating this segment to our guest, Ray. We've set up some questions for you that will help us get to know you a little bit better. So Lewis here will start. Lewis here will start with the first question. Lewis.
Me? Oh, I've got the first question.
Yeah.
I think you're safe.
What?
We thought you were going to drop the F. It sounded like she was
I
going to drop
was
the F
gonna-
bomb. I was like,
yeah.
what did Lewis write?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that was
I'm
my
sorry,
ability
Ray.
to read.
Okay, back on track, right?
Yes.
So Ray, as mentioned previously, we're gonna spend this segment getting to know you a little bit better. That's for the next question.
Okay. All right, Ray. Can you elaborate for our listeners what exactly is cosplay and how did you get involved with that form of art?
Yes, well, cosplay is a way of life, I'd say. It's making or purchasing costumes of the character that you love and dressing up, going to all kinds of conventions, interacting with like-minded customers. It's just a big community, and there's so much more that you can do if you're a player. And how did I get involved in it? I watched the first Wicked came out, and I really loved Kyle, the triple one. And I just decided I want to try the dance. I love outfits. Thought, okay, well, I have that outfit. So I made the outfit, the whole costume, and went to one. And then when I had to wear, so I thought, okay, it's happening. And it happened to be a con season in the fall, so 2 years ago. So I ended up going to one of the conventions that was black. So much my costume was and that's why they found in fashion. I knew what the most favorite thing to do was that. So that's how it happened.
Oh, great.
We're gonna move it over to Izzy for her next question.
What?
Is it,
We
we're
just
gonna-
skipped, like,
Yeah, I know.
10.
We're
Oh.
scratching those, and we're gonna go to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So, Ray, if our fans would like to connect with you, what is the best place to find you and your content?
Best place to find me is my Twitter at ray.mx. That's where I post most of my pictures.
Nice. So follow-up question is a 331. 331 is a Force Choke original. It's where we offer you 3 choices. You get 3 seconds to make your decision, and you must give us one answer.
Okay.
So the scenario is you need a Star Wars character for a duet on your new single. The choices are Chewbacca, Darth Vader, and R2-D2.
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, yes. I can beatbox for you.
You don't think the breathing would
Right,
affect
breathing sound.
the duet?
No, I'm reading in beginning and in the end, I can intro and outro, and then he can just sing.
It'd be like so auto-tuned.
Yeah.
He has an auto-tune button on his
Very nice.
Why does Darth Vader sound like T-Pain?
Good.
All right, Sarah.
So I'm curious, Ray. We just can't get over how great your cosplays are. In particular, I wanted to ask you about your Hera cosplay. The tendrils on your head, what are they made out of? Because they look really like realistic. Like
They're
authentic.
Jason, and inside it's an expanded hole. And it looks like this foundation is what best kind of piece over Twilight or so that's what I'm thinking. Also upgrading the phone, which is exactly what you know. I like skin and sure it's flexible. So I'm working for this.
So
Cool.
expandable foam.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Sarah here was like, when I was showing her your Harrison Dula cosplay, she was like, "Oh my god, that is so cool! What are those things made of?"
Yeah.
She's like, "I gotta ask her.
Yeah.
I have to ask her."
That thing is the only thing that I did not make myself. I did paint it, but the whole latex and foam, I did not make it because I don't have those kinds of skills. But yeah, there's a lady who's all those. Her name's Pam, and it's good enough.
That's awesome.
You're right.
All right, so Micah's up next.
All right, Ray. Later in the show, we'll have you rate the movies. But for now, we'd like to know how or when did you become a Star Wars fan?
Oh wow, that's a heck of a one. Yes, so I'm a prequel baby, so I grew up prequels and so I always loved them, but I never was until the Force Awakens came. Guess that's one of the first I looked at those films, not from a perspective of a viewer, but also from the perspective of them. And it would help make part all those films, and not just viewer entertainment. That's when I took the entertainment and kind of back.
Oh, great,
So,
great.
she's a prequel baby, just like you.
Am I? Yeah, I guess I am.
Prequel.
There's nothing wrong with the prequels, Tim.
Wow.
Even if it took you 10
Well, I
years,
mean,
Tim.
It only
Jar
took
Jar.
it only took Tim 10 years to appreciate the prequels.
Just give him 20 for episode 8. All right, so my follow-up question is, on an excitement scale of 0 to 10, how excited are you for episode 9?
Why?
7?
Yeah. No, well, it's more about I'm excited to see another Star Wars movie versus to see the continuation, the story that
Yeah.
that
right.
makes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, will that be a continuation or a conclusion?
Ooh.
Well, both.
You
You
think?
never know. Like, Ray has a child or something.
Well,
Ah, very true.
Rayfel.
No,
No.
dude,
Yes.
don't go there.
Thank you, Izzy. But Tim, you old smoothie.
Yeah.
What do you got for our next question?
Whatever. All right, thanks, Micah. So, Ray, will you be attending any Comic Cons in the near future?
Yes, actually, I'm attending one tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
I have a convention this weekend that I'm going to, and then I'm gonna go to a couple more this month, and a big LA Comic Con in October.
We got new cosplays to show off, or is just you're gonna use
Sure.
Hera?
No, not Hera, but I do have so for this one, or not the anything new, my array, anyway. But I'm working on something very special for Con in October, and that's gonna be a stuff from Focus.
Okay.
That's one of the stuff.
Oh, great.
Okay, our team here from CC Texas, and we'd like to let you know that we had a friend of ours, Daniel Benavides. He's the co-owner of the Corpus Christi Comic Con here in this area on our last episode. So we want to know, would it be out of the question if I recommended or to push for you to be a celebrity guest at next year's Comic Con?
Absolutely, I'd love to. That'd be great.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, like Tim mentioned, Daniel Benavides was on our show, our previous episode, as a matter of fact, and so he asked if we could give him some suggestions as to who we'd like to see at the Corpus Christi Comic Con next year. So we'll make sure to put your name there in there, top of the list.
Top of the list.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because I've never been to any other Comic Cons outside of except the New York Comic Con. So it's fun to go somewhere else and to meet people. It's fun.
Definitely.
Awesome.
About to meet up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Ray, we've had some really great guests on our show, you included. Recently, we had Adam Pogo, leader of 501st Gulf Coast Squad, on our show. We understand that you submitted your Iden Versio for inclusion to be part of the 501st. Can you talk to us about that and how if you gotten a response back yet?
Well, I have not submitted yet because I sent a couple more days, and I have looking for a different time to get my ID Android, little spider droid that floats around in the head all the time.
Oh.
So I'm hoping to get in this week. Right after that, I'll submit.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
That would be awesome.
That's too sweet.
Yeah, I love ID.
Where am I?
No.
Do you think we'll be getting Iden's daughter in the next movie?
No.
Oh,
That's straight up
What's her
no.
name again? I forgot her name.
Oh, I forgot her name too.
Hey, something.
Zay?
Same with the Z. Yeah.
Zay, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You okay, Izzy?
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right, okay.
Is that a
And-
Macklemore song? I think so. Okay, the real question is, when you become a member, can you help us become an honorary 501st member?
Yeah.
Oh, especially with the name of your podcast, I think you qualify.
Yeah,
There you go.
for sure.
All right, so it's time to test your Star Wars knowledge. If,
Oh no.
if someone could put 30 seconds on the big clock for me, please.
My God, I'll put 30 seconds
Thank
on
you,
the
Louis.
clock. Give me one moment here.
And the test is going to be simple, Ray. It's just going to be if I need you to name as many Star Wars characters as you can in 30 seconds.
Okay.
So
I'm already impressed.
You tell us go, and then I'll start the clock, Ray.
And you tell me when it's work.
just in case.
You tell us go, and then we'll start the clock, and we have somebody counting how many characters
So-
that you can name.
Yeah, so as soon as you're ready, just start naming them off, and as soon as you name your first one, then we'll start 30 seconds for you.
Okay, and you tell me when 30 seconds is done. I'll go going on time.
Oh, Lewis will stop you. He's that kind of guy.
Okay. Whew, alright. Alright, let's go.
Okay.
Iden Versio, Del Mico, Zaymaran, Admiral Versio, Gideon Pass, and then Skywalker spoke the time of Pumpkin let's say Cobra, Zay, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Priamidala, Babe Organa, One Moth, Admiral Ugbor, Admiral Thrawn, Cynthia, Tana, Ezra, Chopper, R2D2, Kate Crystal,
Time.
Whoa.
Alright, I'm at.
Time.
I got 23.
I got 23.
I got 22.
23.
23 it
We'll go
is.
with Tim. 23.
Just to let you know, the average that we've had our guests do on the show,
17 or something?
I think it was.
Yeah.
It's been
15, 16.
14 to 16 characters, and you
Oh,
hit
wow.
23.
Bravo.
Wow,
Ray blew him out of the
bravo!
water. She is an Imperial Admiral.
Woo!
Ooh.
Nice.
I got promoted, hooray!
Take that to the 501st.
Yes.
All right, Sarah,
Automatic inclusion.
what question you got for us?
So, Ray, we see that you have done that you have.
I did it for you.
Over.
Okay, We see that you have a love for Star Wars characters and the universe they inhabit. And I'd like to know which Star Wars characters do you most relate to or identify with? Like when you see that character, you say, ooh, that's me. And why?
Well, it's gonna be a big surprise, but I did run too. No. Well, yeah, she's actually the only character that I can look at and 100% say, oh, MG, this is me, except I laugh more than I get. But as the character, yeah, that's definitely her.
Nice.
All right.
You know, it's so amazing when you pose as her, and you know the makeup. I'm sure you do your own makeup and hair when you pose for her, but it's like spot on. You know, it's almost like I had to do a double take, and because you brought that character to life. It's truly amazing. So
Thank you. But you know why? It's the makeup. It's basically the same makeup as I do every day. Just little variations because I didn't. Just not as peachy as hair or not as straight, but I get that's how you get the look that turtle. It is yeah, I don't have to pretend. I don't wear it put on you the armor. It's just enhances the inside that brings it outside, and it's so in harmony that it's just surreal. It feels great and it's just like that at first. When I wear a ring, I have to do more acting. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Absolutely.
you know, and I'm curious about like, have you played the Battlefront game? And I'm sure you know Iron Versio's story, but it's really good. I mean, from beginning to end, I know Tim here has played it, and
that's great.
I think, were you going to ask her a question, Tim, about, because we know you had an audition earlier today, and we wished you the best of luck on that. We hope everything turns out well for you on that. But I think, Tim, you had a question for her
I
about?
don't remember if I had a question for her audition.
Not necessarily for audition, but like, do you have anything, you know, around, you know, in the future? What are your plans for, like, you know?
Oh yeah, so okay, I think we talked about this because we think that your cosplays look really great, and they are at I feel like they are at a theatrical level of cosplaying, where you look like you are a character from that, you know, game, movie, or show. That we wanted to know or are interested if are you looking forward to that in the future, if that offer came for you to be in Hollywood and be an actor in those a character in a Star Wars movie, like, would you go for it? Would you do that?
Well, out of what you said, you know, I think I'm doing my best to do exactly this. I do live in LA now, and I'm pursuing a acting career. So, it's not like a big dream and a big goal, you know, just a dream, but actually something I'm looking for. And it's just a way to practice it in real life and to show like when focus character that up, and if something like that my way, and I absolutely honor working because my work and it comes in loss of this, and I would absolutely give my all to make this good as possible.
That's awesome.
Okay, very good.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you. Micah, do you have
So Ray, we thank you for being open and honest with us during our questions. So now, we hope you can keep that honesty as we have you rank the Star Wars movies.
Ouch.
Oh, look, this painful part counts. The rank, all of them.
Yes, we're gonna have you rate all of them, the theatrical movies, and we're gonna have Micah here. Yes, you, Micah. We're gonna
It's your
have
turn.
Micah kind of guide you through, because we'd like to hear your thoughts on the movies as well. You know, and why you liked them, why you didn't like them, etc., etc. But Micah's gonna give you a rundown on how we rank the movies, how we have our guests rank the movies. Micah, you want to share that with her?
Yeah. So, as Lewis mentioned, we're going to be doing all the theatrical movies, all the movies that were released in the movie theaters and whatnot. That's going to be including Rogue One and Han Solo. Now, when you grade the movies, we're going to be doing it 0 to 100. And we're just going to be grading Star Wars movies against Star Wars movies. So let's say an example, Revenge of the Sith is your favorite movie. You're going to be comparing that to any other Star Wars movie, but not anything other. Like, I'm not going to say the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, Top Gun, any one of those movies. It's just going to be grading Star Wars movies against Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're ready, we can start with episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Okay, I'm so bad at grading things. Okay, feelings about everything.
That's okay. You'll do better than Tim, I have a feeling.
Just imagine, Ray, you're standing in front. Look, you remember, just take this into consideration. Just imagine yourself standing in front of George Lucas, and you're gonna grade.
Oh my God, George Lucas!
No, we're not going to put that kind of pressure on you. Just, this is for fun. You know what I mean? We usually have our guests rank the movies. And it's just opinion based. Some of us have, Izzy here, for example, has destroyed some of our the movies and given it like a 35.
Just the prequels.
Oh, God.
Rude.
So
rude.
So don't feel under pressure. I mean, this is just for fun.
I'll just be very prejudiced to sound. So it's not because anything else. Alright, so Phantom Menace. It was the first movie that remember. So I'm gonna give it 65.
65. Okay. That's a good start.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Did Jar Jar heard it, I'm guessing?
He doesn't cover me much, I guess. I saw him film first. He was so now I feel forever that.
There you go. So then the next one we have is going to be episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
I would give 60.
So a slightly less.
Slightly less.
Yeah. Did you feel like they were just missing some interactions there, or do you just the acting? Why did you give it a slightly lower grade?
It was also enjoyable and entertaining. The only reason it was like this, I felt totally like and this is supposed to be the core of the story. So I felt like this was a lot of missing element.
All right, so.
Yep. Okay, good. So going on to the next one, episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, like how do you rate this? Like everything was great and some parts were terrible and okay, let it be 50.
Was that a 50?
It was a 50.
Oh my goodness.
5-0.
Because it's half and half.
Oh, Micah fell down. We gotta pick him up.
I'm having a stroke over here.
He's pounding on his chest.
I'm quarantined.
We need some medical attention here.
Just roll him outside. He's dead.
Yeah. So I think we all had varying grades on that one.
Yeah.
Some of us truly loved it, and some of us were like, okay.
Well, I guess I give it 50 not because I'm just whatever, but because like it's something that I really love and I general.
So what movie you got next for?
Okay. And so now we're going to the next movie. So we're going to be going chronologically. So it's going to be the Han Solo movie.
Ooh, Han Solo movie gets 85.
Oh,
85. There we go.
Wow.
I like that.
So you like this movie?
I loved it. It was so good.
There you go.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect from it, right?
Yeah.
None of us. We were highly anticipating it,
Yeah.
but we were very, very wary.
I had the faith the whole time. Go back and listen to the podcast, buddy.
You did hold the faith.
Damn
you
straight.
did hold the line. Michael was
Hold
holding
the
the line.
All right.
So 85, that's a really good
yeah,
grade.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was great. And what they did with it was amazing. The characters were very likable, and I love the transition on from older to younger. How they introduced Rohan. It was a very masterful way to to have recognition setup when it was a little bit. It was a bit car racing, whatever they was.
Yeah.
So you can tell where for that bus to get used to the look. They introduced him in full light, and you're like, okay, let's do okay. So that was great.
Definitely. So then the next movie is going to be Rogue One.
Rogue One gets 100.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Goodness. I know.
Yeah.
Did you give it?
I give it 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Favorite one.
Yes, and I know Adam Pogo, who was from the 501st. He's the leader of the 501st in our area here in Texas. Aww. He truly loved that movie as well. Him being former military, he enjoyed the war aspect of Rogue One. So
Yeah, it's every way that movie I would change anything about it. And it's just perfect. So it's yet didn't change, have back and Rogue Up, but he would everything about it. It just speaks to me. Work with it 100%. I can understand that.
awesome.
Good.
It's like Micah at the end. Darth Vader speaks to him.
Oh God! I saw it coming. I was like, I'm in love.
You know what's important about this one? It's probably one of my favorite movies ever because it evokes so many emotions and it feels real. Like a lot of Star Wars movies, they feel like it's movie, it's a great movie, but still a movie and all these people, their characters. But Rogue One feels so real. It felt like they were real.
Yeah.
That's why the whole ending is just so heartbreaking because you're like, no.
Yeah, that's so true, and that's kind of what one of the things that I love about that movie. It almost feels like you could reach into the screen, that it's a real world, that it just exists somewhere else. So I totally agree with you on that point.
Can I get a plane ticket to Jeddah?
Yes.
All right. So next movie is going to be Episode 4, A New Hope.
New Hope. I put it the same as I put it at 8.
Was that an 80?
80.
80? Okay. That seems about the average for that movie. There's some higher, some lower, but it seems about right in the middle of what a lot of our guests and even ourselves are.
Definitely
about it.
So, Episode 5. What's this one called again?
What?
Guys?
The Empire Strikes Back.
There we go.
Yeah, the Empire
Sorry.
will get
I'm sorry, we missed that?
90.
A 90?
90.
Ooh, that's another
90.
high score.
Yeah, because it's my favorite one from the original trilogy, and I think people love it the most. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care.
It's of course, it's the I Love You, I Know.
Cult classic.
Yeah, it's got so many great moments in it.
So, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So
Return to Jedi. Oh, 70.
A 7.
7.
77.
Okay.
Just 7.
Is it because the fuzzy teddy bears?
Come on,
They're
love
Kit
the
Kats.
Jedi.
You love the teddy bears.
So I get 70. You pick this out, those are way of being more. So even that.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
I can't really. I like it, but yeah, once.
What do you got?
All right, and so the next movie now, Episode 7, Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
Okay, where was Han Solo?
Oh no.
I wrote it. Okay, so Force Awakens, I'll give it 82.
82. Very nice.
Han Solo heard it, huh?
So heightened.
I'm sorry, say that again, Rick?
I said Han Solo is heightened.
No. Yep. All right, and so the next one, episode 8. Anybody?
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
Don't kill me. I think it's rated 35.
Oh,
yes.
Ouch.
That's an honest answer, and I appreciate that.
She gave it an 85.
Oh, okay.
That is high.
I heard 35 too.
I heard 35.
35.
Oh,
No, she
you
said 35, Lois, you liar.
I know. I was gonna try to get away with putting an 85 in there for you, but the guys caught me.
Scruffy little nerf herder.
So at 35, that is far drastic of a score compared to any of the other scores you gave, Ray. So
What put the knife in this one?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, and for me, beauty of cinematography and the just bad, all the great fight scenes, battle scenes, great. But I looked at the script and the picture and the intensity of the unit, like I said before, of the world and the acting, and from all of that's
We'll see. Well, I can't ask you to grade episode 9 yet. That would just be unfair.
yeah,
Unless you've seen it. No, I'm kidding.
no, but I bet it's better higher than that.
you know what? With all the fans that are giving Star Wars so much hate, it's like they've already graded 9 before it's even come out.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a shame. You know what I mean?
They could hear the title and be like, oh, I can tell that's going to be a 45.
That's what happened with Solo. The people who didn't go watch it.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think it's just hate or everything from now because it's just a movie and you know, there are good things and good things. It's okay if somebody loves it. So that's hard. You cannot judge it for one grade. It's that it's just
Yeah.
so. Yeah, for some, it's for some better film, for some not, and that's what it's supposed to be like. You can't make people love. It had certain goals. I did what it was. It was something up. There's no.
Oh my goodness. Well, Tim, you have any more questions
I think that was the one question I was missing that I covered.
that you oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you cover earlier? Ladies, did you have
We
any?
missed something. I'm just kidding.
Did you miss
No, yeah,
something?
no.
No. Micah, you're good. Izzy, you're good. Well, good to go. All right. Well, Ray, we appreciate you joining us for episode 36
Thank
of
you,
the
Ray.
Force Choke podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
You're very kind to take this time out of your day. I know you had a busy day today, last minute things that came up, and we wish you the best of luck on your audition, and we wish you the best of luck in the future. And once again, we're going to submit your name as a guest for Corpus Christi Comic Con. That'll be happening 2019, somewhere in the June time.
July
July
is what he said.
in July time. So
Yeah, that's the official.
we're gonna hope to see if we can get you down here in some way, if that fits your schedule. But while you've been a great guest. We thank you so much for your time, and we truly appreciate it. You've been nothing but very, very humble. Through this whole process, and we truly appreciate it. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so who wants to
The
sign?
best.
Who wants to sign us off? Izzy hasn't signed us off in a while, so Izzy's gonna conclude us here, and then that'll be our wrap up.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a
It's a
crap.
wrap.
It's a crap. It's a trap.
Stop! You're making me nervous.
Izzy, breathe. Don't panic.
She's
Okay.
panicking.
Yeah.
She looks straight at the microphone.
We put her on the spot.
Yeah, always on this. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching episode 36 of the Force Joke podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
We hope to see you on the next podcast.
maybe. Just kidding.
Something like that.
Well,
For the podcast.
I am Micah.
Sarah.
I'm Izzy.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Lewis. And thanks again to our guest Ray. And
Thank you, Ray.
council has spoken.
Thank you, Ray. Bye.